the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Boo.
Damn, I feel like I'm at the gym right now. Sweating is rolling down my back.
I went Monday.
Yeah.
To the gym Monday. And
I don't even.
It was.
I think I went Monday.
It was the first, but
no, I didn't go Monday.
It was like I told Venus, I'm like, I
know.
And she's like, she had a long day, and that's fine. And I said, we were cooking some of the halibut that we got from Alaska. She's like, "Are you gonna eat?" I'm like, "Well, yeah,
just for the halibut."
I'm going to the gym. So, are you gonna eat? She kind of, I could see in the eyes. She was like,
she glazed over.
I'm tired, and it just wasn't in it. And I said, I'll sit down and eat with you guys, but I'm not like while you eat. But I'm not gonna eat. I want to go to the gym. I need to go to the gym.
Right.
And I went a little bit earlier than we would go, and it was okay. It was fine. Like there was, it was okay. As far as population, it looked like a little bit, but there was no one in the circuit room. I put 15 minutes on the elliptical instead of 10.
You know what it is? It's all the high school kids wanting to fucking get buff.
Right. Oh, man. Oh. And we ran into that because I've had like a hiatus really with the advent of, Piper graduated and then everything was jammed in there. And then I went to Alaska and then COVID. So you're 2-3 weeks and Venus COVID. So there's that whole time, the first opportunity after COVID that both of us had to go to the gym, I was like, I need to go. And we put in some serious work. But that was also the first time we had seen all of the high school kids, especially the young men, that are probably gearing up for football or they're leveraging the free membership, at least at Planet Fitness.
That's absolutely what it is.
They were all, and we were looking at the population meter, and it was high for when we were going, and I was like, fuck it, I don't care. We'll go. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's misreading it because the scanner's not working. Who the fuck knows? And when we got there, the front 2/3 of the gym were basically barren. It was front loaded at the front with all of the squat machines and
the free weights.
The free weights with, good Lord, probably 30 to 40 clicks of young men and probably cheerleaders, your acrobatics, gymnastic, dancing young ladies and guys doing, all huddled around each other, like doing that. And I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, whatever. Good luck with that. I'm like, if this is what it is, I don't care. None of them were on any machine that I was using. And it is my first experience in decades seeing that type of thing going on.
The testosterone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, dude.
That's what it is, the testosterone clinic.
To see these 120-pound, maybe, young men, like, doing some sort of bench thing and then doing the bicep touch.
That feels pretty good.
Oh, man, Jesus.
Dude,
that thing where they're like, ooh.
Yeah.
That's...
it's definitely gotten bigger since I got here.
I mean... I'm all blown out right now. Dude, you got like a new potato, a red potato underneath that skin right there. That's how big that looks. Like, and you're like, 24-inch pythons get a hold of you.
I don't think my pads are going to fit when I get on the football field.
Yeah, I'm going to knock some dude into next Tuesday.
Yeah, check that out.
God damn, I'm going to go home and eat 3 chicken breasts.
That's right. And put some protein. I'll just sprinkle it with protein powder.
Yeah. I eat my oatmeal with I've seen someone do that. Like
what?
Mix your protein powder in with your oatmeal or cream of wheat.
Well, I was thinking you could use it like as a breading.
Yeah. I'll
just
deep fry my chicken
in protein
in
powder.
protein powder.
Yeah. That sounds really good. Especially if it's like Oreo flavored or
it's kind
something.
of cakey.
It'll get crispy, I guarantee it.
But it felt really good. And then we ended up with another probably week where we struggled to find time again.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I just got, but I'm ready to go. And Monday, like I said, I was like, it's August 1st. It's a good time to like get back on the horse.
Yeah.
And like I said, Venus has had a long day. And I'm like,
I'm going.
don't be mad with me. I'm going.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm mad right now.
I'm
knowing
putting in
that
the
you
time.
went.
And I don't think I was there and necessarily any longer. But I put in some so Tuesday I was like all blown out, like I had a little tendonitis at the.
And then you were checking, and you're like, "Dang it!"
Yeah, but I'm fucking yoked. So come get some, high school kid. You want a piece of this shit? No.
That's funny.
But I felt really good,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yes, this is good stuff. So Tuesday I was not. I was off day.
Well, we've been few and far between because daughter has been throwing monkey wrenches in being able to go to the gym.
Oh.
And then we've had some other stuff. On Monday, we went to a Lincoln. Shout out to the Lincoln Potters. We went to a Lincoln Potter game on Monday. Another one. Yeah. Fun. It's a fun atmosphere just to go. If you're interested in baseball in the least, it is just a cool atmosphere to go see a bunch of college kids play like intercollegiate like baseball.
Yeah.
But did that. So couldn't go to the gym that night. We went last night. And then, it's like Mellie's leaving a week from Friday. We're leaving a week from Friday.
Oh.
To take her to school.
Oh, yeah.
So when we get back, we'll get back into a routine because we won't have anybody at home at all.
Speaking of the baseball, my dad does, like, when you mentioned it, I was trying to grab roughly the age bracket because my dad had just mentioned that he had umped a really good game of over 50-year-olds.
Uh-huh.
Like, it was a really good game. It was up in Auburn, like most local guys.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, I'm kind of wondering because sometimes we've noticed that there's only 3 guys on the field, and like last night on Monday there were 4 guys. So I kind of wonder if they are hurting for umps.
Oh, umpires. There was only X. Oh,
yeah,
maybe.
And maybe if he's interested, I mean, he should talk to whatever the people is that run the league and see if they need people. I don't know if he's willing to go all the way to Lincoln.
I'll check and see if he knows who and what that is. They are.
Yeah, it's I forget what the league is.
So what's that like? What's that like watching that age bracket, Dad? He's like, you could tell they lost a step.
Oh, really?
He's like, there's a lot.
A little slower.
Yeah, he's like, there's a lot of curveballs, a lot of sliders.
Yeah.
A lot of like knuckleball, funny business stuff. Not a lot of heat.
Right.
He's like,
they're lucky to get it over the.
Yeah. And he's like, not a lot of base stealing. There's a lot of huffing and puffing when it gets like a close single to first.
Yeah.
You could tell there's a lot of guys that don't have that motor anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that can't, aren't running very fast. Bad knees.
Yeah.
They aren't running to slide and catch a ball that they would.
They're not looking for raspberries on their asses.
Yeah, and he's like, but they all have like a really good time. He's like, so I asked, I'm like, because when I did adult rec league basketball up there, I don't recall there being like a free agency thing. Like I'm a single, I'm looking for a team.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of alluded to that there might be something like that for baseball. I'm like, here's the thing. I don't necessarily have the cycles, but if it was really easy and I could just put a name in a hat and I got a call, hey, can you play 6 p.m.?
Yeah.
I might entertain that if it was really, really easy. I'm like, I was telling my dad, I'm like, we got a group of friends that someone will throw out kickball or softball or a rec league dodgeball.
Still want to do kickball.
Right.
Yeah.
Something. And everyone goes, yeah, because we're all generally interested in doing that.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to like planning and coordinating 10 to 15 dedicated people
Right.
that wouldn't necessarily warrant a completely
Like once a week or something.
Yeah, just toss of chump of change.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a struggle.
Because I think like when I looked into the kickball thing, I think it was $750 per team per session.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. But I mean, if you break that down per player, depending on how many players there are on the team, that cost becomes manageable.
It does, but then
you're still shelling out money.
Right.
And if you're going to shell out money, you should go. You should plan on going.
Right. And then it's like, well, how many people can come play kickball tonight? And you get
chirp, chirp.
4 or 5 people. Well, that's not a team.
Yeah.
And then you start realizing that even though the $750 was split to make it not manageable, you don't get to play.
Well, you're wasting money. You're just wasting money.
Right. My dad was saying that he did a game 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was one gentleman that showed up at it was like a doubleheader, like a 1 p.m. game, Jersey. The game was over. He lost. Went to the parking lot.
Put on another one.
Put on a jersey for the second game and won that game.
Yeah.
And he's like, that guy is paying. I think he said that league it's like $500 a team.
Yeah.
He's like, that guy is paying, but he's playing.
Yeah.
He's getting to play. He's playing on multiple teams. He's like, and he is having a great time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not into paying that much, but
HAA was in some kind of softball league, and like every year in the softball league, they would win the championship.
Yeah.
And so like on our intranet website, there's always pictures of the softball guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go out there and just spank people.
What's going on, Dave? Hashtag, hey, Dave. Where's that softball shit at?
Yeah. Back when I was a younger guy, we would go to California Family Fitness in Rockland, and they've got indoor soccer there, and they have pickup games, indoor soccer pickup games, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun, and it was pretty cheap. I think it was like $5 or $10 or something, and you just play as much as you want until they're done. Yeah, they just have a whole field in themselves.
I feel like I don't know if I'm ready to swallow the pride thing and playing with a bunch of young kids.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
these old guys?
Well, it's sort of a mix, but most of them are young guys. And to be honest, it's fun. Because I love soccer, but it's fun. But they have some guys that just want to like blast the ball at whoever is the goalie. You know what I mean? And you don't get a lot of help because no one gives a shit about playing defense. So if you end up in the goalie position, you're just going to be like letting them by because you're like, fuck.
Well, I'm not getting paid to stop this shit.
No,
so
everyone just wants to score, Yeah.
And
then so you just get balls blasted at you because no one's playing defense.
I see Mahaney out there on the field. I see like the flag football stuff going on every once in a while. And I'm like, I
always like playing football.
Yeah. I'm like, man, on this, I wonder what would happen if I just kind of, my walk over to get a lottery ticket, I just kind of walked around and kind of just picked up a football and stood on the sidelines.
Right.
Like, anybody missing? You guys
need somebody?
Because I can run.
I can
run.
I brought my flags with me.
Run and catch. Real good. I got my flags.
Yeah.
Football.
Tony Overbay and I, we had an indoor soccer league that we played in over at the Placer County Fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have an indoor soccer tent that had an indoor soccer field.
Yeah.
And we would play there and just get spanked by teams from Lincoln.
Oh, yeah?
Mexican guys just fucking wallop us every fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But had a blast. That was so fun. Tony never even played soccer. He's like, yeah, I'll play. And he came out and did what he could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was fine. It was fun.
He's like, I can play this for 24 hours, and they can't. But I'll lose for 23 hours. But that 24th hour, when everyone else has to pass out, I've got the endurance to kick all your asses.
Yeah.
I'll just kicking goals.
Oh, I'll tell you what. My experience with Mexican soccer players, they are fucking good. I was on a team, probably high school, maybe junior high time frame, and we got set up with a game, kind of an exhibition game, and it was a team from Mexico that was in the U.S. just like touring around playing.
Yeah.
And so we got set up in an exhibition game with them, and they just
smoked you.
Just gave us the business, man. They are so fast and so technically good, like footwork wise. There was no comparison. And the same thing was said for the indoor soccer. I mean, when we were playing one of those teams from Lincoln, I remember you're like trying to defend them, and you're up against the wall, and the guy, they would just pass it off the wall and then go around you and then get the ball. And there's no way to defend that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way to defend it. It's like he's just passing it to himself off the wall. You're going for the ball, and he goes, "Oh, you're coming at me? Cool. I'm going to the wall, and I'm going this way." And you're going to be like, shit, because you're watching the ball, but now the ball's coming back, and then he's picking it up behind you. They're quick, fast, really good.
I don't think I've ever played that type of soccer.
Indoor?
Yeah, where you could carry them off the walls.
Yeah, indoor is very fast pace. Chandler played some, and Melanie did too, at the California Family Fitness. They got a couple of indoor fields there. One of them
Where?
was like big.
What location?
In Rockland off of Granite Drive.
Huh.
Kind of near the Tesla.
Oh.
Over in that area.
Yeah. Okay.
Like across the street, there's a big family fit. It's huge.
I was going to say, it's got to be huge if it's got multiple.
Yeah. It's
fields?
like 2 stories inside. You can see people working out up top. They got climbing wall, basketball, soccer.
I do wish
that's a big one.
We had climbing stuff at Planet Fitness. That would be nice.
I'd
like to do climbing stuff.
Planet Fitness is sort of like get in, do your shit, and get on out.
Yeah.
Where like pretty much no frills, with the exception of, well, we have this black card thing, so what are we going to do?
Chairs on the table.
What are we going to make a little bit cooler for the black card folks? Well, you can bring somebody with you for free.
And the tanning.
And you can do the tanning. Well, we'll have tanning beds.
The red lights.
And we'll have butt blasters.
Yeah.
And vibrator chairs. And then we're good. We'll call it solid. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man, I just got my colon cleaned out.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Be sure to wipe this area down. All right. Fantastic. This is gorgeous.
Yeah. But so yeah, I'm just wondering, like, for your dad, for that California Collegiate League, if they would need experienced umps or not.
They have, and I may have mentioned this before. He definitely picks and chooses which leagues he's participating in now. Some of which is because it's overworked, and he doesn't like telling people no. Like he has like especially in the heat out here.
Oh yeah.
He definitely has his limitations, and because it's on him. He has a terrible time telling people no, especially when it's for kids. So he doesn't really do much high school stuff anymore because it's just too many games, and he really likes doing it, but can't say no. So he just flat out steers clear. He does do the little league stuff, so just before high school.
Yeah.
Those also there's a lot more umpires for that tier. I think it's because there's just less hassle. There are umpire cliques that start to happen when you get into the college, high school, and then the slightly under the seniors with tenure and politics. He's like, I don't got time for that shit. I'm here to help instruction for the kids.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I take the zero fucks crowd seniors whenever he can. He's done softball a couple times.
Is he a baseball MLB guy? Does he watch a lot of baseball?
He watches yeah, he's a fan.
Like, is he a Giants guy?
No, he's an Angels fan.
Oh,
right.
Oh, he's a man after my own heart.
Yeah. Did you see Vin Scully pass?
I did. I listened to so many Vin Scully games as a kid.
I don't follow baseball for shit anymore. I probably haven't followed baseball since Oakland Giants World Series. That thing, and even then. I was pick and choose.
I was 89.
Okay. See, I wouldn't know that. I mean, that's how like superficial I was. You know, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, Barry Bonds.
Beyond that,
well, you kind of lost me there.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was the bulk of us since we came from Southern California.
Yeah.
I did have my share, a large amount of Angels swag.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan was a huge fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. God, a bunch of other stuff like Angels was, and he kept that.
Yeah.
Whereas, I kind of transitioned out into the Giants and then the A's.
Yeah. It's tough being an Angels fan up here, though. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jim Abbott, one-arm pitcher for the Angels. I love that guy. He was like a folk hero for me. It's like it was one of the first instances of someone with a disability making it into a place where you're like
in a professional level.
Yeah, but he's not perfect. He has a disability. He's got one arm and he throws some shit.
Yeah.
And does it all. Like that a positive role model for your expectations of what you thought. You breaking barriers. Like, good for him. Fucking that guy is someone to aspire to when you think, yeah, but I can't. It's like, well, this guy's doing it with only one hand. What's your problem?
Pro pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
Yeah.
Like, just get up and fucking do it. So I haven't followed baseball. Saw that last night. And it hit me in a way that, like, I'm like, I don't. But he has one of those iconic voices, and once I saw the news, it had hit me. Like, I listened to that gentleman talk baseball and announce baseball, countless games, like. He's got one of those voices that when someone does like an impression of someone doing baseball, whether it's a comedian or someone in sports, like it's iconic.
Yeah.
Someone is generally doing a riff off of Vin Scully's vocal intonations.
Right.
It is iconic.
Yeah, the things that come to mind are Farmer John's.
Yeah.
Right. And growing up also in Orange County and hanging around like my grandparents' house.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I was at my grandparents' house, my grandfather would always have the Dodger game on. My grandfather would have the Dodger game on. If we were at Anaheim Stadium watching an Angels game, he would have a radio with the Dodger game on.
Yeah.
That's how, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's how into baseball, like as a kid, like the family was, and Angel Stadium, like Southern California in general, like growing up, walked on the field with soccer teams, with Indian guides, and so that was that stadium. I love it.
Yeah.
I
remember I saw like there were a couple things, like in memoriams that were being reposted.
Yeah.
And one of which was Kirk Gibson's walk-off home run. I'm like, that I remember, like I can picture that entire sequence, the whole fist pump. Like he's got a blown out hip, blown out knee, didn't start the game, and they put him in as designated hitter, and the guy gets Eckersley throws him a fucking freebie, and he cranks it, game over, and he does the fist yank and hobbling around the bases, and it was just one of those things, and Vin Scully is announcing it. Yeah, just takes a picture of Bob. I'm like, I can, like, some of those memories of a pastime that I thought I had zero fucks for.
And then you hear Vin Scully dies, and you're like, fuck.
I'm like, man, what? Yeah. And he's an icon that I didn't recall that was real important to me in a childhood that I've kind of gone out of.
Now, he had retired, right? He wasn't still announcing.
I think he retired in 16.
Okay, yeah.
16, 17.
Think about that. That dude made a very long career out of doing
80. I think it was 80 years.
Yeah.
He retired on his 80th year of doing baseball. His first, like,
did he? I bet you he had a hard time figuring out what to do with himself after. You know what I mean?
His like I saw his like. I mean, it's possible. It's entirely possible. But it did sound in like his farewell address, like his last announcement, that he was actually looking forward to the time and spending with his kids and the rest of his family. Like, it didn't look like a forced thing, like he was trying to bake the perfect cake. As far
or they're like, it's time for you to go, Vin.
Yeah, it looked like it was on his terms. And it looked like he did have a plan that he was okay with. It didn't look like he was missing a beat and someone was like in his ear like, it's time to go. Like, you can't do a whole game anymore.
You fucked up, son.
Right. He's like, you need to walk off. He looked like he genuinely took a shot, either had a self-actualization of his terminus as far as his ability to do baseball the way he wanted.
Yeah.
But it generally looked like he was okay with it. Like, this is the bed. I got grandkids and my kids, and I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be okay. And, you know, God bless you and all that stuff kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
I want to go see a game there again. Dodger Stadium.
I'd go see an Angels game.
We did a couple years ago.
Did you?
Yeah. I think we got tickets through
that big A.
Yeah.
That's another one of those, like, I didn't realize was like so burned into my memory.
Yeah.
Like the huge Angels red A. Is that still there?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if they've got a new stadium.
I think it was moved or something, but it's still there.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was still a shithole parking lot. It seemed like it was in the middle of BFE.
Not anymore.
It's not?
I mean, Anaheim's grown up.
Well, yeah.
The Ducks are close by. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff around that area now.
Not shocking.
Yeah.
I haven't, yeah.
But yeah, we went a couple years ago. We got tickets through Fullerton. It was like a Fullerton night or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have it's either, I forget exactly how the hat's set up. It's like a Fullerton hat with angel colors or vice versa or something like that.
Okay.
Pretty cool little hat. Probably not that many of them around. But I think I still have like an Angels hard hat in my possession.
Yeah.
You know, like a batting hat.
Oh.
Yeah, from like when I was a kid.
Did you do baseball cards?
No, I mean, I did as a kid. I had a few, but I never really.
You don't have them anymore?
Maybe somewhere.
Somewhere?
Maybe.
I've got a ton. And
they're not going to be like in sleeves and pages or anything like that.
Oh, I've got those.
I don't.
No?
I just never got into it. Never got into that.
There's a lot of football cards, too. That never seemed to, like, catch off. I had a Barry Sanders rookie card. My family has a Nolan Ryan rookie card.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to be a huge fan. I did a book report when I was in middle school, so Clear Creek.
Uh-huh.
I did a book report I read his book, and coming up through the little leagues, minor leagues, pitching. His baseball card with the bloody lip when he took a pop back at a ball back in the face. I used to collect all of his shit. Like super fan.
Yeah, I wasn't like I really liked him as a player, but I didn't know.
Yeah,
that much
he
about
seemed
him.
like a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
There was this that I remember from the book. He pitched so fast that the catcher that used to catch for him in the minor leagues used to have to soak his hand in pickle brine to callus up his catching hand because it would keep it from blistering, but he would have to salt his hand.
Didn't he play for the Astros?
Yes.
Also, at some point?
Yeah. Rangers, Astros, Angels.
Yeah. Okay.
And probably somewhere maybe else in there.
Yeah.
He did his 5,000 strikeout, I think, while on the Rangers. And I don't remember where he started anymore. But yeah, I mean, somewhere. I think my dad's got got a little more baseball in you. A heavy acrylic. I mean, it's like
you got more in you than you thought.
It's pigeonholed into like, and I only played 1 year of t-ball.
Yeah,
like I was terrible at it.
Yeah,
I don't think. I think maybe I have 1 year of soccer.
Yeah.
1 year of t-ball, no other years outside of there, and then my next sport was junior minor Pee Wee football up in Grass Valley, Nevada Union. Like I did, probably three years of that. Only one of which where I had decent knees. The other two.
Brutal.
I wasn't gifted in any way.
So you had bad knees even as a young buck?
That was it. Like in my puberty stage, my growth plate shit in my knee just wasn't keeping up, and so it made them super sensitive. And I couldn't. And then once I got to high school, I tried to do football there, but I was so meek that I wasn't good at any. I was a bench rider and special teams.
So you were the kid like at the gym, like checking out. I just worked out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's growing.
I wore multiple shirts to try and make myself look.
Oh, really?
Bigger.
Yeah.
And when you're a poor kid wearing twice as many clothes, like all of a sudden you start to run out of clothes by the end of the school week, so it gets awkward as fuck.
Yeah.
Ask Venus.
Just roll them with deodorant and put them back on.
I would have doubled up T-shirts, and it was like no one ever. My friend group were all mostly lower income anyway, as well. But it was a thing. Like your dad always wore multiple shirts, like to try and then fucking 19, 20 years old. This young adult genes start kicking in.
Yeah.
It's like, well, fucking, now let's go play something.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to work and I've got a girlfriend. I'm like, fuck.
Well, you know what that reminds me of? Skateboarding. Like, we were big time into skating way back in the day. And then it's like, oh man, if I had a car, I'd skate. I'd take my car to the skate spots. And I did for a long time. And then all of a sudden, you just find you don't have the time to skate or whatever. And then it just becomes a thing there, and you just sort of lose touch with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. It was just like, I still love skating. I love watching skateboard videos. I secretly installed a skateboard video into our test video stuff at the office.
Oh,
yeah. So we have this... In our machine room, we have a KiPRO that just feeds video to whoever needs it. It's just standard def video, but it's the Pal Peralta Search for Animal Chin video that I happened across.
Yeah.
And I transcoded it to ProRes and threw it on there.
Yeah.
And so that thing plays 24/7 on that KiPRO all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's kind of fun. If you ever need standard def video when you're at the office, you'll get Search for Animal Chin with tons of awesome skating in it from like 1987 or whatever year that was. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see, 18, 19. That was Chico. Yeah, and then no one was doing sports. We were doing mountain biking.
Oh yeah.
So I did tons of mountain biking outside of Chico, like East Bidwell and like up into the Buttes.
Yeah.
Tons of that stuff. Tons of mountain biking here at American River.
Out in your court.
Like, yeah, out in the court. and then that went away too because then I got First Union, so that went away real fast.
Well, I mean, some of that stuff is like you're young and then you got rent to pay or whatever, and that shit's expensive.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
you're not spending money on that anymore because you got to go to work and pay for these other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff happens. You know,
Yes.
a lot of that stuff happens.
Sure.
So, I mean, I totally get that.
We had it's funny. I think a week and a half or so ago, Piper and her friends who were on their last hurrahs before college things, they're doing a lot of camping, a lot of stuff. A week and a half or so ago on the weekend, they're like, "Oh, let's go to the river." Okay. The spot where they went to the river was up outside of Grass Valley at Bridgeport.
Oh, okay.
Like the same place that Venus and I would go to,
Yeah.
like after school, like or on the weekends. Just let's go to the Yuba. All right,
Yeah.
Bridgeport went up past Lake Wildwood, up past hashtag Hey Dave,
Yeah.
and she had left for the day. She'd been gone, and I think she was on her way back in. She's like, "Oh, just getting into cell reception. You know, to be home in like 40 minutes to an hour and a half. We're gonna get food somewhere."
Yeah.
And Venus was walking down the hallway. She was like, "Oh, did you get the thing?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And I said, "So I don't want this to sound creepy, but because I didn't want to say I knew where she was, but did you know where she went?" She's like, "Oh, well, she was talking about." I'm like, "They went to Bridgeport." And she was like, "Oh, like, is it weird that our daughter is going to hang out in the same place that we used to also go and hang out at her age?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh no," and I'm like, "That's kind of cool." It's like,
Yeah.
the spot that we thought was fucking cool is like the same spot. So when she got home and telling us where she went, and then Venus and I are both,
You're all like,
yeah, we know exactly. Like, it's really nice because of the, the rock bounding and the fucking. Did you see any nudies? Are they still doing that? Because there used to be naked ladies and dudes hanging out up a little bit outside the general confusion because they told some of their friends they were going to the Yuba. And so half of their friend group in a different car ended up just outside Nevada City, the access to that Yuba entrance, whereas they were at the Yuba entrance for Bridgeport.
right.
So then there was this, "We're here."
Where are you?
Yuba. "We're here too." Well, the fucking Yuba River goes.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's miles, pal.
Yeah, come on. She's like, "Yeah, you guys have to. This is Bridgeport.
Yeah.
And that's Yuba City or Yuba River, just outside Nevada City. Like,
Yeah.
different,
I mean, you would think that beforehand they would have been like, "We're going to this spot
right?
on the river."
Right. But these Flatlander kids don't know anything about
They're like,
geography.
"Just the Yuba."
It just says Yuba on the map.
They go to where it dumps into the Sacramento River.
Yeah.
"We're at the Yuba. Where are you guys?"
I don't know. It says Delta Yuba. Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we're talking about good shoes, and the rock bounding was super fun, and we used to run up all like
Yeah.
it's good fun. Like, yeah, fucking the swimming holes you're talking about, I was jumping in too.
I assume that there's a little bit. I mean, my kids haven't done any, to my knowledge, haven't done any of that. But there's, where the Rainbow Bridge is that crosses into Folsom.
Yes.
So if you're going into Folsom,
Mm-hmm.
on the left side, on the far bank, there is a spot down there called Big Tit.
Oh.
And it was like a 3-tiered thing that you could, because it's really deep, that part of the American River. Really deep right there. But there's a 3-tiered cliff. It's literally like sheer rock cliffs along that section.
Mm-hmm.
and we would go there and jump into the river, and the river's flowing pretty good right there because it's before it starts backing up into the Natomas.
Yeah.
And so you jump in and be like, whoa, swim back to the side. You know what I mean? Because you're going in pretty deep because you're coming from pretty high.
Right.
We used to do that all the time. And you know what? I think Chandler did go there one time.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, yeah.
You have to phrase that right. Because if you're like, hey, son, do you ever jump off the big tit?
You ever go to the big tit?
You might get a story that you're not prepared for as a father.
Well, I don't know that I would phrase it that way. But, you know.
You ever been on a big tit?
Yeah, the big tit.
Dad.
There's just one.
Yeah, yeah. There's only one.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had a little bit of that. I think Chandler went there one time with his friends. That's funny.
Yeah.
When you raised your kids in the area, kind of the same area that you grew up.
And we're down further south. Like if we were
that they would even go to that place.
Yeah, and it's good that I'm fully on board with them camping because I'd rather they're out being rustic than, I don't know, driving around a mall parking lot or some shit,
Or doing sideshows
I asked, I'm like, because they went to, last weekend, they went to some campsite off Folsom Lake, but on the Pilot Hillside.
Okay.
So they had to go all the way around the Horn.
Right.
And then came down the Pilot Hillside of Rattlesnake Bar. So I they were there 2 nights, and I go, "What are you eating? Like, what do you eat?" I would love to know.
Doritos,
because they're doing it just like we. Yeah, they're doing it just like we did. Like it's 18, 19.
Yeah, kids with no money.
Yeah, and no adults. They're doing the thing. Like so I'm curious. What are you taking to eat? She's like, well, the first night we had hot dogs, and then the second night we did hamburgers, and, standard fare shit. They had a couple coolers, they're doing the thing, breakfast, it's da-da-da-da-da. And I said, you should let me and your mom come up and just cook you dinner, and then we'll get the fuck out. Like, I don't want to squash your vibe. I don't want to crush your shui. But
so what do you? I mean, would you have a plan on what to make, or is it just whatever they have?
I haven't come up with it, but I would show up and just
with the food.
Okay. Cook it, serve it, and then pack it and get the fuck out. So they would not have to worry about one meal. We were cleaning out the art, and she kind of was like, I
don't think so, Dad.
Yeah, like you're not feeling me. Why would you not? I will cook you food and then leave.
Well, I think if you think about it, if it's close enough that maybe they just need to be camping further away. Because if it's close enough for you to drive up and cook a meal and then pack it all up and take off, they just need to go camping further.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I wouldn't want my parents to show up.
She seemed semi give some value to it.
Well, I mean, I get that, but
let me.
I mean, I don't know.
Let me show up. I cook it. It'll be good food, and you'll have a good time. And then, so we were cleaning the RV.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, we're getting a bunch of shit out, and Venus found the
heroin box.
Yeah. The 25 serving paella recipe that I cooked in Mammoth.
That's fascinating.
Yes.
Because I love paella. And now just speaking, Chandler went to, where did he go just recently? They went to dinner and he got paella.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, this shit was fucking the best thing I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, fucking paella, dude. The shit's delicious. So I'm interested in said recipe.
Yes. And it's a Martha Stewart recipe. And I didn't know, I haven't seen this thing in probably 10, 15 years.
Oh, okay.
I have the what's left the pan.
Okay.
That I know serves 25 fucking people, but I have never made that dish for 4 or less.
So did you have to double the recipe or anything?
No, I made it as 25, and it fit all in this pan.
What the shit?
It is.
How many burners did you have on it?
I cooked it over a campfire.
Oh.
Like the state park campfire ring.
Okay.
My pan with rebar fit just barely closed one of those. I mean, this is bigger by maybe 25%, our podcast table.
Yeah.
But my paella pan sat perfectly on top of a California State Park campfire ring.
Oh, Jesus.
With rebar.
That's huge.
And that's how we didn't have a lid, so we foiled it. I've only cooked it once and got lucky that one time. And it fed 20-something people. Easy. It was like a family reunion thing in Mammoth.
With a whole bunch of people.
Oh, yeah. It was a whole family thing. Yeah.
Nice.
But I've only made it once. Didn't know what happened to the recipe. Couldn't tell you where the recipe was. And I've never made any other paellas for the family on a smaller scale. Blech. Probably because I have this huge mental block on, well, if I make it, it has to be at that tier.
Mm.
And the only recipe I have is for something that was for 25 fucking people. So to try and reduce something from 25,
it's a tall order, but
it would
you could do it.
So Venus found this thing, and I went, I didn't even know
recipe.
I kept it. And she's like, yeah. And Piper's like, you should make, because Piper's the same way with Chandler.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want it? She's like, I want it. Whatever she's read or had it somewhere.
Yeah.
It is something that she wants me to make, because it's right up her alley, apparently.
Yeah.
I could not reduce that recipe, but I'm glad we have it, because it'll make a novelty thing. My fire pit is probably big enough to hold the pan.
Yeah.
But
mine.
Maybe. How what's a diameter on your ring?
I don't remember. 24 inches or something.
That might be.
It's
I mean, the pan
big.
is.
It's pretty big. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't be cooking that much. That would just be a waste of.
It
food.
would. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you would be set. You could send some. I mean, yeah.
You could send some my way.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, just saying.
You know, it's like that sandwich you never made me.
Which one?
Your Thanksgiving sandwich.
Oh, the turkey and cranberry and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, that's a great reminder. Thanks, dickhead.
Turkey, cranberry.
So, we found that.
Yeah.
Blast from the past. It'll be interesting to see whether or not, as Xander gets into high school, if the camping thing is up his space too.
You know, it's funny because we were just talking about camping a couple of weekends ago, and we both love to go camping. We just don't plan for it. We don't make the effort to plan to go camping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And today isn't like it was when we were younger. If you don't have a reservation, you're not going camping. So it's not like midweeking and just be like, oh, let's go camping this weekend. You're going to have a hard time finding a place to go.
Right.
Where back when we went.
Piper made that identification. She's like, because they went, I think they left Wednesday. She's like, Wednesday, Thursday, there was nobody here. But Friday evening, the reserved thing started popping up in all of the parking spots.
Right.
And it was like, shit's over. You know, if you didn't have something, you were boned.
Yeah. Yeah. And, typical work week during school,
right.
My wife just doesn't get time off.
Yeah.
So it's like she only has a very limited number of days that she can take off per year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to be happening for camping because she saves those for some special things.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't plan ahead, which we just don't ever do, we just don't ever go.
Yeah.
It's like, I love Yosemite.
Yeah.
I love Yosemite. But you have to be on the ball and know exactly when you're going to go.
Right.
Or be flexible and be like, okay, cool, that weekend or that week or whatever, we're going to go. Because if you don't buy your spot like a year in advance, you don't get your spot.
You don't get,
Yeah. And I don't know what I'm doing in a year. I guess I would be camping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's tough because.
And what's the status of your camping gear? You're not.
We have a
teenage and 20 anymore, so now you need your tent, your air mattress, your sleeping bags.
I mean, considering we did a lot of stuff with scouts. We have tents and sleeping bags, and we got all kinds of stuff. We have one cabinet that's just got camping gear in it.
Yeah.
So we have cots. We have an 8-person tent that we took for 4 of us that we put cots up in. It was perfect. An 8-person tent. So big, giant fucking
We
thing.
couldn't find our tent. So Piper shacked up with her group of her friends all had a 4 to 8-person tent. So they all Jenga'd in there.
That's
I
fun,
bought
though.
that thing right there, that disc. It's a pop-up tent.
Oh, okay.
It's one fiberglass bar that's figure eighted.
Yeah.
And you just kind of throw it.
So it's a windshield shade that pops up into a tent.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So when she got back from camping, it came. I'm like, so you gonna take this when she comes back from where she's at now with her grandma? They're got another trip. I'm like, so now you have a tent. You need to figure out how to collapse this thing down.
Yeah, practice it.
She's like, oh, okay. It's what is? It's just a pop-up tent. So we'll take it out of the thing, and we went over to the putting green, and it.
You just throw it out in the air, and then
she's like, oh yeah, okay. It's like a 4-person, a comfortable 4-person, plenty comfy 2-person.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
And then we kind of oh, all right. So now we need to figure out how to collapse it back down into that size to fit inside the container. And I'm like, well, I don't know.
Then you just it's fold it up and then twist it.
Yeah, you do a taco and then you fold inside. Yes. But we had to we fucked with it for about 10 minutes, and I went, I watched the video on Amazon. I'll just hold on a second. So I went and got my phone, and I'm like, okay, so hold this here, fold it like the taco. Okay, now, okay, here it is. Yeah, you stuff this ring into here, and then it folds over on itself. Yep. Okay, there it is. And then it was
someone
sunshade.
has to figure that out,
right? And so she's like, just send that to me.
No, I mean when they made it, someone had to figure out how. So with this fold action, someone had to figure all that out. We had to figure out how to make this work so it fits in this.
It was probably someone that was really pissed about a slinky not doing what they wanted it to.
Yeah.
You know what would happen if we just wrap some polyester around this?
You ever seen?
I bet it would be a really good tent.
You ever seen a slinky that's just got all fucked up?
Yes.
And then once you work out all the kinks and then it's not back in its form. It's just fucking
the one segment is bent at a fuck because you're I don't understand how that would even have done that, so I'll just bend it back, and then it
doesn't.
It just one step
useless.
And then cripples itself.
Yeah. And then you're buying a new slinky.
Yeah. You're a piece of shit.
You know how many slinkies I bought over the years? None.
Yeah. Because they were given to me by Santa Claus.
Yeah. Well, and they have to be metal slinkies because the plastic ones suck, right? They're just not as, they don't have the weight.
Yeah.
They're not as weighty, so they don't zip and they don't make the sound like a real metal slinky.
Yeah, it has to have that.
Aluminum. Yeah. I had a friend, guy I used to work with, who was an artist, and he got into... Now, I don't know what drugs he was on at the time.
Competitive slinky?
No, he was an artist. So he did a art piece that was a slinky. It was big. It was a pretty good size, but a slinky going downstairs.
Uh-huh.
And he spent hours playing with a slinky and looking at the patterns as the slinky goes back and forth, looking at the patterns and then drawing that into into the artwork.
Huh.
Hours. Just playing with a slinky in different lighting and to get it right. And it turned out awesome.
Uh-huh.
And you totally get what it is. You know what I mean?
But he was high as fuck.
He had to have been. He had to have been. Super good guy.
Uh-huh.
But he had to have been high as fuck.
He's like, how long did you? hours.
Oh, I mean, it was over months.
It was fascinating.
I don't know that he was playing with the slinky for fucking every day for months, but
right.
But it was a months, if not a couple years long project of him, like drawing the slinky patterning stuff. It was fascinating.
How bizarre.
Yeah, really cool.
Is he still alive?
No.
Oh shit.
No, he
burned that candle out fast, didn't you, Tiger?
Really good guy. Knowing what I know now, he died from alcoholism.
Oh.
Sadly, got to go see him in the hospital before he passed away.
Oh.
I don't think he knew we were there. There was a bunch of us there.
Yeah.
He passed shortly after. He wasn't really conscious when we saw him.
Mm-hmm.
But he, like, knowing that he died from alcoholism and looking back, I would go, okay, sure.
Saw that one.
Maybe. Yeah, I get it. Sad. Very sad.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. So let's talk about sad dads.
Slinking.
Yeah. No, but fascinating process that he went through. And I remember hanging out with him. He was like one of the first people I knew that had his own Mac. Like he bought a Mac and like going over and like hanging out. Like, hey, can I play with your Mac? Sure. And just like fucking opening like the control panel and what is it? Oh, look what it's doing. You know, just fucking around on his computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, super good guy and like fascinating. He would show you, okay, you see what I'm, and you're like, yeah, in this, and you see part of the drawing, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, This guy, he lived when he lived with his parents. So when I worked with him, he lived with his parents,
and
I can't remember the name of the neighborhood, but it's Sierra College. Or Douglas to Auburn Folsom.
Okay.
And then turn left. There's a real nice neighborhood that's older now, but it's on the left, and it used to have like a guard out front.
Okay.
Just on the left. Anyway, super nice neighborhood. He lived in there at his parents' house, and they had probably not one of the nicer houses. Huge house, but like not well kept, it didn't seem like.
Okay.
But behind their house, they had a llama farm.
Oh. And
his mom's license plate said Llama Ma. So if you ever saw that license plate, that was Scott's mom. And they had a fire pit back there. And so we would be working, because this is back when I worked at Pizzeria Classico in Folsom.
Okay.
So we'd be working, and we'd be like, what are we doing after work, And this is, we didn't have kids at the time. It was just like, whatever. And we'd be like, hey, can we do like, what did we call it? There was a name for it. I can't even remember. A llama party. That's what we called it. You want to do a llama party? And he'd be like, sure. So he had a fire pit, and he had a way to get to that property that you didn't have to go to his parents' house and park in front. And you go the back way, and then he would open the gate, and you would go park up kind of near the fire pit, and everyone would hang around the fire pit and just drink beer and get fucking smashed. It was a blast. And then around all of the llama pins, electric fences.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
This was fun.
Now it's a party.
So we would do like... First of all, if there was anyone new that came to the llama party that hadn't been there, they had to get at the end of the human chain, and then everyone held hands and then touched the fence. Oh, boy,
here we go.
And they would get that just jolt. So that was like, they had to do it.
If you're new,
and
you get the end of the chain.
Yeah, and it was one of these things where you always had to have enough in you to get the courage to touch the electric fence.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an always-on fence. It would just pulse.
Oh, okay.
And you could see the lights on the little transformer. It would like pulse light, so you knew when it was sending.
Yeah.
But when you touched it, you didn't know if it was live or not. And sometimes you put your fingers on it.
Oh, yeah. Like the Jack in the Box thing.
Kinda.
Fuck you! I didn't know.
You never knew when you were going to get hit. So there was a time where we were joking around about, because we used to do this all the time, and we called them llama parties. Hey, we're going to do a llama party. He was like, no, my parents, blah blah. It's like, yeah, I get it. We don't have to do that shit all the time. But when we had them, it was so fun. Ted used to go to. I have pictures of Ted at llama parties.
Oh shit, Ted!
Yeah, Ted was there. all the people that worked at the pizzeria would come and hang out at the Llama Party and just drink and big bonfire and everybody just be goofy. Some weird shit happened at the Llama Parties, you know?
Hey.
But it was fun.
As it should be.
Yeah.
In your 20s doing...
He was a good guy.
Llama Party.
Yeah, Scott.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. His sister lives in Diamond Oaks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They have her and her husband have a daycare.
Oh, okay.
Out of their house. And you know what's the name of the cemetery fencing that's right there on so if you're going down Diamond Oaks, you turn right at the park and it's
Roseville Cemetery, isn't it?
Roseville Cemetery. So their house is the one after the fence ends on the left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They live right next door to the cemetery. Fencing area.
Not weird.
I don't think there's any dead people in that area of the cemetery. No. I think they're all over at the actual cemetery.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, yeah, fun stuff.
Small world.
Yeah.
Did you do not lake, but river stuff? Did you pretty much stay down here, this end?
Well,
like
we
off
did
the Big Tit and stuff.
We did river stuff in the American River.
Oh, okay.
So we would go fishing, or we did a lot of tubing down, you know. So yeah, I mean, we did it, but. And then also if we went camping with the family, we would go somewhere that had a river or a lake or something like that. But yeah, we did. Scott had a boat. We would go every once in a while, take his boat out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
I miss that. I really enjoy camping.
I do too.
I do miss having a boat though, because you could just drive out to nowhere. You had a way to get all of your shit somewhere.
Yeah.
Not in a...
You know, I'll tell you what, camping, I would need a hardware thing to like have a bait. That was the thing about camping for me is like, you always had like, if we had a trailer or a motorhome at some point, and we did a lot of camping as growing up. Having that home base, and as kids, we never slept really in the campers or the motor, you know what I mean?
We didn't either.
We had tent.
We had a tent. Yeah.
But there's a fridge on board, freezer, you know, there's cooktop.
We had oven. A lot of, like, for us, it was a camper shell. Yeah. Like the big C10. My dad had a big Chevy.
Yeah.
And in the bed was a long bed. It was a really big camper.
Yeah.
But mom and dad slept in the camper,
right,
with the kitchen and all the amenities and shit. And the kids, you got tent, and that's fine. That's like what I grew up. That's why having an RV.
That's what we wanted to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I don't want to be in there.
We're camping. Shit, I'm sleeping in a tent. Yeah,
I'm fucking fine.
Sleep in the fucking motorhome.
Why would I do that? There's not a lot of space in there, and it's hot. That's stupid. I got a tent. Tons of space. So that's why it was weird. And having the RV.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but
I want to sleep in the tent.
I like the tent.
Yeah.
You know.
So you're buying an RV to go like drive all your crap up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And then get there and be like, all right, now I got to pitch the tent. And you're like, and your wife's like, what the fuck?
Right. Well, no, yeah. And don't get me wrong. Being able to have the bed, I went, well, now I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But my heart is always like.
In the tent.
This is just a really big trailer of shit.
Yeah.
And I should be sleeping on a mattress in a tent.
I feel that. I mean, as I'm older, the sleeping part isn't that big of a deal, but to have like the hardware thing to like have a home base or whatever.
That would be, and a lot of that too comes from Venus and like her dad had like what essentially was like a camping box. I don't know if they had as a kid, if she had an RV or a camper truck or something like that. She brought along to our relationship the concept of the camping box, and it was this 4x3x2 galvanized sheet metal box that her grandpa made in his own fabrication shop, that her family had all the shit. Yep. It was like, you take this, you put it in the back of the truck, and you take it wherever you're going, you drop it off, and spices, pans, pots, utensils.
Yep.
Everything.
The Scouts had those.
Okay.
Yeah.
It made sense.
So the Troop 1 here, all of the, I forget what they call them now, the smaller groups of kids had their own, each pod had their own box.
Camping box?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that worked out really well.
And all that translated to, for us, when we were young in 20s, before the RV, the Durango was the thing that schlepped our camping box.
Right.
And then when we got the boat, the camping box was just something that we stuffed either into the back of the Durango or it was on the boat. You get to the camping site, you offload it from the boat, boom, done. Yeah. And then the camping box turned into a $30,000 camping box as representative by the RV.
Do you still have that box?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It holds like paint and stuff.
Oh.
But we still have the camping box.
Yeah.
It would not fit in the Miata. So it's not
You can put it in the RS.
No. Not even close. Fucking that thing would probably cut carpet and all kinds of.
Yeah.
Not useful for Piper, but it would fit in the back of the truck absolutely in a heartbeat. But it's not repurposed currently as a camping box. But I think about that stuff all the time. Like as we downsize and get ready to get rid of the RV, I guess if there was a theme here in as we wind down, there's I'm getting flashbacks of like 20 to 30 years ago of like the things that are starting to roll back. Like, well, I'm getting rid of this. Well, now we roll back to the camping box.
Right.
And my daughter is interested, so there's a use. It's not me trying to hoard some stuff. It is, this is like a hand-me-down. Like, here's a lesson. Your mom brought this to our relationship, and she is fantastic at it.
Right.
Hashtag I love my wife. And manage your own size. But now I realize that we've started to accumulate some stuff that is useful for her, for Piper.
Sure.
And as we get rid of this, I'm like, well, how does the family as a whole probably now needs to roll back into, because I would love to go camping. I say that probably with the same breath as I need to go snowboarding this year.
Right.
As we start to ebb and flow some of this time, I see that some of these things as becoming a little bit more tangible to grab at.
Right.
Like,
I'm a little less busy.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we squeeze something in 2 weeks? Maybe a reservation, or Piper goes somewhere with just her group of kids over a weekend and finds a camp location that doesn't seem like it's reserved all the time on the weekends. Maybe we can squeak in there.
Yeah.
And, for just a one-nighter underneath the stars, man, talk about like just schlepping away some of the stress of the sad dad themage. I mean, we didn't win the $1.2 billion, so there's some weight.
Some asshole did in North Carolina, or
Illinois,
or
fuck that guy.
Wherever the fuck they are. Who cares where they are?
Yeah. Wartime.
Well, now we're sad.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for bringing us down.
Yeah, way to go.
Jeez, bro.
Damn, you're like, I know a guy who died. And I'm like,
I guess I kicked that off.
And we didn't win $1.2 billion. So.
And I haven't been camping.
Yeah.
Or snowboarding.
Camping or snowboarding. It's just a big old sad dad bag of shit, man.
There's a sad dad buffet for everybody.
Yeah. Eat up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, you know what you should do.
You should return the cart.
You should wash your hands for sure.
Wear the mask.
Wash your ass.
Get the shot.
Check your oil, Tony.
Ooh. Register to vote and vote.
Yeah.
Damn. Check your wiper blades.
For sure.
These long, hot summers, especially in California, yes. And do it before the wet season comes, because now we don't know how this shit's rolling. But a lot of the wipers here in my clan needed to be replaced, and it was something that we weren't really thinking about. We were only tipped off because Venus had hers actually blow out, and we got those thunderstorms over the weekend. She couldn't turn her wipers on because she had a blown out wiper. So The dry heat, the excessive heat in California, check your wipers. Don't get caught with your pants down. And on that note, you could do the kindness.
And thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next week.